Welcome back to Chicago Sports Update here on IAP Podcast. This is Matt.
And this is Brandon.
And, well, not the sterling start we had hoped for from our Monsters of the Midway. Some people have called it a microcosm of last season, seeing the team fire on all cylinders and then slowly fade into a pile of goop and not be able to do anything as far as run defense is concerned and not have some stupid turnovers and just really flake the game away is really the best way to put it, I figure.
Yeah, kind of after all the off-season acquisitions and which led to off-season hype of, you know, what the Bears could potentially be this year. It game one against a really inferior team looked a lot like last year, where the defense can't stop the run to save their lives. Um, Safeties look bad for most of the game,
Yes.
and even the offense, though put up big numbers. I, I felt this way last year. Like the offense wasn't going to win you a game, even though they were the second best offense statistically. The eye test showed last year that it would come in halves. The offense would never put a full game together, whether it be because they made mistakes or they just had a dry spell in the game, and that kind of all happened on Sunday where they made a lot of mistakes, and because of that there was a dry spell, mostly the first half after the first drive. First drive was awesome. I think we were all so excited,
Yes.
and then after that first drive, because of mistakes, a few of them on Cutler, uh, and just other penalties and stuff. There was that dry spell from then on the whole first half, and I kind of feel like that happened last year too, where at the end of the game you look at like, holy crap, Cutler threw for 320 yards. He had a hell of a game, but he was invisible. Not definitely not invisible because we saw him. We saw him throwing, you know, throwing it into the arms of defenders, fat defenders. so
Yeah.
you definitely noticed him, but it was at the end of the game. You just look at statistics. Yeah, Cutler had a great game. You saw what happened though, and just I don't know. It continues. It's so frustrating as a fan.
Yeah, it was. The defense, I, I'm not. I don't feel like I have to just roll like like the post game show does here in Chicago. I'm not. I don't think it's that critical. I think it's serious. I think there are definite signs of concern for the organization, and I can understand criticisms of Mel Tucker, and I don't think he would be able to survive another year. If he does, it will be explained away by potential injuries, age of the defense, and overall talent level. And it's just mind-boggling to me to see a team not learn from mistakes and still make the same mistakes continuously, specifically against misdirection plays. That is, I don't know what the correction is. If it's wait that extra half second to see where the play's developing and what actually is going on, if they're too busy looking at the line and trying to use that as their clues as opposed to the backfield. I don't have the answer. I don't know the specifics, unfortunately, but it's it's sad and it's maddening. Especially what I think can really be summed up in the final drive, leading for a field goal, the game-winning field goal by Buffalo. There was a pass down the far side of the field, at least from how the television angle looked, and you had Doctor Arm Tackle show up. And if you don't know who that is, that's Chris Conti. Some people were trying to explain away the fact that he was trying to strip the ball. He did not even come close to stripping the ball, even getting in the vicinity of that side of the body to strip the ball. He was stiff armed and dragged around for a good seemingly 10, 15 yards. It wasn't even a competition before other people, other defenders were able to knock him out of bounds. And it this is it's a wasted opportunity. This game allowed you to go 1-1 in the first two. And we only say that because you're playing in the home opener for San Francisco in their new stadium, a team that was in the NFC Championship last year, and you're not there yet. And that hurts because I really operate under the I look at the NFL like anything can happen. If a few things break your way, you can get into the playoffs and you can become a better team, and you can learn and weed out and get lucky. You can weed out some of that perhaps better talent. You can overcome quote adversity or your own deficiencies, and maybe make something. Just have an NFL play happen on accident, I guess is almost the way to look at it. And I hate it. And I feel like, oh my gosh, I'm an idiot for boiling it down to something like hockey. But it's, man, I feel like, okay, no, I can't do that. I can't look at that. I can't look at things that way. I was expecting the defense to be competent enough. That just wasn't the case. And
Well, I think we all thought the front line would have more of an impact, helping the rest
yes.
of the defense. That just didn't happen. Anyways,
So, yeah, it's a disaster. I don't want to say it's a disaster, but you're on the precipice of going down 0-2 after after only just two games with a monumentally difficult schedule coming up in the first six games. I don't believe it. The odds of an 0-4 play of a team starting out 0-4 and getting in the playoffs are microscopic, seemingly. It just doesn't happen. I don't expect that trend to continue, and I don't think this Bears team is an exception unless all of a sudden your defense gets younger, better, and by better I mean develops more talent, which I just don't think is there. And I don't think the answer lies within another team's practice squad at this point.
well, I think as far as the linebackers go, besides Lance Briggs, who seems to have lost a step or three, the other
Yeah.
guys seem athletic enough. So I just feel like, kind of like you said with the whole misdirection play, that's. I feel like if you and I and 9 of our friends ran a misdirection play, we could probably gain 8 or 9 yards on the Bears. And the linebackers just seem to be clueless. If they and that's not really a athletic issue. That's a read issue. That's knowing the play, and I feel like that can still change. I don't know why I feel that way because I've been seeing this for over a season now. But it's like that. That's a coaching issue. That really is a coaching issue, and that can change. So I believe the linebackers can get better. I think the defensive line is going to have some games where they look unbelievably good. There's just too much talent there. The safeties are what they are. The safeties aren't good. They're not good, but you can make them look better by having a better front seven. You know what I mean? So I
Yeah.
think if you get better up front, if the linebackers get better, if the defensive line plays up to their capability, it's going to fix some of the issues that we're kind of blaming the safeties on. So,
I hope so. I really do, because that's what we talked about at come the end of last season. We talked about how one of the most frequently things uh, of analysis for the defense was the front four weren't getting that push. Well, you got a little bit younger. from free agency, and most of the other members of the front four stayed. They're still part of your team. So the fact that they weren't getting that push against what I don't find to be a particularly overly talented Buffalo team is concerning, especially when you have to go up against um, a front offensive line that creates amazing gaps for Adrian Peterson twice a year, as well as provide some phenomenal protection for Aaron Rodgers twice a year. Detroit, I'm not there yet. I'm not convinced of anything yet with them. And I'm probably just going off of pedigree at this point because honestly, I really don't. I don't know what really what history we have to go
Yeah,
to go
well,
for,
yeah,
especially
but the
with
scary
Schwartz
thing
out.
is, yeah, Shorts is out, and they have this player. I believe he's a wide receiver, Calvin
Yeah,
Johnson. What the hell are
yeah,
they gonna do with that guy? Because that guy had like 4 touchdowns in 3 plays on Monday. It scares me.
yeah,
That should scare them. That should scare the crap out of them. And Minnesota
yeah,
looks better. That should scare the crap out of them.
yeah. And that's kind of where we're at right now. I know we
And
said
Aaron
before. I've
Rodgers
said it
isn't dead yet.
exactly. I've said it on this show. Eh, For the longest time, the defense looked like it was held together with band aids. And we're not talking brand name band aids and field dressings. We're talking discount dollar store band aids. It's not. It didn't look good, and it hasn't looked good for a while. One thing that I know we said before about the offense is the offense before Alshon Jeffrey came along and before Brandon Marshall came along. This was a stupid offense. There was not much football IQ on the offensive side of the ball. I think that has reversed now, unfortunately, where there's not much football IQ on the defensive side, be it from the safety position and some of the younger linebackers that are out there, especially Shea McClellan. This is a guy that was, supposed to be a good defensive player. We have yet to see that. He has made one play that created a tremendous opportunity for the Bears last year when he knocked out Aaron Rodgers for half the season. Unfortunately, the Bears squandered that opportunity at every point.
I feel
Sure, the
like they
Jay
owe.
Cutler
I
injury.
feel like they owe Shane McClellan something. They were supposed to get the playoffs because of him, and the Bears failed. Shit, he hasn't been failing the Bears. The Bears have failed him.
Eh, over the past 10 games, yeah, I could extend that, or so. Yeah, I'll be willing to go there. But it's it's good. It doesn't look good right now, and I don't know if we're full blown panicked yet. Uh, it was certainly an
I am.
interesting week. You're panicked.
I'm looking at the schedule right now, and
Oh, don't do
I
that.
don't see more than 3 games that they can win.
With the team that we going into it, yes,
With
I feel
with
like the
with
biggest
the
sucker right now.
with with the way the other teams have played after just 1 week. I get it's just 1 week. I only see them beating Dallas. That's the only team I see them beating on the schedule. Like
Oh,
I'm
that's
afraid of the Jets right now because the Jets can run the ball. That's the thing. The Niners, oh my God. Oh my God. Frank Gore is going to set records.
what do you
He is
think?
going to set
400
records.
yards?
He might.
What do you think?
It's I mean, as a team, obviously he's old, so he'll get tired, but they got Carlos Hyde, uh, you know, who had a decent week 1, 2, and that rookie can run, and man, it's scary. And a lot of times when we feel this way, the Bears seem to fix it fast, and they usually have a good showing the next game. Right now, though, it's hard for me to see them doing anything against San Francisco that will result in a win. I mean, even the line, the
Ooh,
spread
you're
is
right.
7. I'm like, really? If I was in Vegas, 7 points is. I'm like, I'd be pounding the Niners.
Yeah.
So
Oh, yeah. Yeah, I'm looking at this. I pulled up the schedule as well. Uh, that's a no